Today is the 5th week of sophomore year, and this is a good time to talk about what I bring with me to campus. Today I'm going to be doing what's in my bag. Probably the first what's in my bag for the channel, because I don't think I've ever done one before. I think I've done like a recording setup for my main cubing channel, but I don't think I've done one for this channel whatsoever. Let's get started. The first thing I want to do is get all the tech out of the way. This is my MacBook Pro 2021 M1 Pro. I'm pretty sure you've seen this a lot. This is the main computer that I have that does pretty much everything that I needed to do right now. I edit on this, make thumbnails, do homework, pretty much everything that I need a laptop to do. Inside here, I actually have some stickers on it. This is a pizza one that got covered by this one that I got from a QIK meeting thing. And then here is just one of a Rubik's Cube. I think this one and the pizza one I actually got from last day of my public speaking class. And then I had this random Ryzen 7 sticker that I actually got when I upgraded my brother's PC. The next thing I have here is the Samsung T7 1TB portable SSD. So my MacBook Pro is pretty much just the base model, so 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of storage, so that is pretty much fine for me. But if I want to put more storage or more stuff like the video files that I actually record from here, so I can actually like preserve the life of the SSD on the Mac itself, or all the other things that I need, like all of the pictures I take with the cameras, all of the pictures I've edited, all of the projects for Premiere Pro before I switch to Final Cut and then to Resolve, and all the project files, all of the assets that I need, everything is on here. I actually have 2 more drives that I actually put away right now. I'm too lazy to get them out right now. The next thing I have here is an iPad mini 6 I got 2 years ago. It works pretty well. I mainly just use this to take notes and even use as a secondary display because of Sidecar on the Mac. And I know it is a little bit small to where I actually have to like zoom in whenever I take notes sometimes, but I feel like because of its small size it easily fits in my pocket when I want it to, but kind of good for also like watching videos and also play games. The next piece of tech I have is this Apple Watch SE, and I pretty much use it to track my fitness progress and also checking the time when it feels like time is taking way too long. Now let's get on to my vlogging setup. The camera that I use for vlogging is actually pretty much my main camera now is the Sony ZV-E10. This is the Mark 1. I was originally gonna get the Mark 2, but I didn't really see much of an upgrade from what this would be nor this camera, aside from maybe even like 10-bit video. But I don't do much color grading like that much. I usually just apply a LUT mostly. I am using the kit lens, the 16-50 with stabilization, but a lot of the times when I record B-roll I actually turn the stabilization off so that I can throw all the footage into Catalyst Browse and stabilize it there. The microphone that I have mounted on here is the Deity D4 Mini, and this has literally been with me since like almost 2 years now, and it has worked really well. It's really small and it gives me really good audio. The next thing I have here is this UV size, whatever brand it is on Amazon, mini tripod. It's flexible. I initially bought this to film solves at a Rubik's Cube competition that I was going to. I always have it like mounted like this onto the camera, and because it is flexible, there are some ways I can get some creative shots out of it, and sometimes even like mounting it to stair rails and everything. And I feel like if I had a bigger camera, that really wouldn't work. So having a really small camera like this with a flexible tripod, there are definitely a lot more ways to get really creative shots and even figure out how to get certain shots without having a big tripod around. The filters that I actually use on this camera, the one that I have right now on the camera is a mist filter, KNF Concept. I just bought the cheapest one that they had. It does look really nice in certain situations, while other times it doesn't really make a difference, but I kind of like it. It usually stays on there most of the time. The next filter that I have on here is this variable ND filter, and it's also the cheapest one that KNF had for this thread size. This is the backpack that I'm using. This is just the Adidas backpack, and I have the bear that I won from round 1 literally attached to one of the zippers, and inside this pocket here I have a microfiber cloth, so just in case I actually want to clean out my MacBook screen or my glasses. In this pocket here I have a pencil case. I actually decided to get one this time because I feel like last semester, I actually threw all of my pencils and everything into one of the pockets on my last backpack, and it was probably not such a good idea because I think it actually broke through like one of the pockets. So usually what goes in here is either this camera and maybe even the whole setup that I use for that too, but most of the time my iPad just goes in here. Now inside this pocket over here in the front, I have this charger that charges both of my camera batteries. Oh yeah, also I forget that I put my camera batteries in there too. So usually I have 3 of these, 2 of them go in here, 1 of them stays in the camera, and they actually go into this little pocket in here when one of the batteries runs out. So that's kind of how I can tell when one of the batteries is pretty much used already. The next thing I have are just cables for things. So this is a MacBook charger. I have a USB-C cable, which I can use to charge my camera. I also have an Apple Watch charger here because I only got this out recently, but in a pinch I can use it with this power bank, this Energizer power bank that I got 3 years ago. And this is a 10,000 milliamp hour one, and it works really well. The battery lasts really long because I don't use it often, but in a pinch it works really well to charge my Apple Watch back to full charge within the span of a class or 2. The next thing I have is this MacBook charging brick. This is a 61 watt charging brick, and it actually works pretty well to charge my MacBook, even though the original power adapter is 67 watts for this one, but it works pretty well. Next I have my wallet. The last thing I have here is a lock for whenever I go to the gym and I need to use one of the lockers, which is pretty much all of the time. So now in this big, I don't know if you can see it, pocket here, I have 2 folders. So this is just the red and blue one for some reason. This is just 2 folders, so I have some storage space to actually store things in there, like store paper, because last semester and actually whole last school year I used to just put the paper right into my backpack because I didn't have a folder. So now I have these so that I can put them in there without risking the paper being all crumbled and stuff. Here is just one college ruled notebook that I use just in case I need it. I think right now this is actually the notes for my CUTVA 210 class, which I think I've stopped taking notes in this notebook last week because I think typing it out might actually be a better idea to actually do than writing it down on paper. The last thing that actually goes in there is this Mosiso laptop sleeve, and it is pretty much the size for this MacBook Pro over here. I pretty much bring this because there is a laptop sleeve in my backpack, but what I've actually been using that for is to put my gym clothes, because obviously I go to the gym a lot on campus, so I do want to have like a space to keep all of the stuff that I use at the gym. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for what is in my bag. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next week probably. Bye!
Make it easy every time.